巡り巡る星の輪に僕の未来願いすべて託す夢の途切れ間に揺らいだ朝焼け冷えたわけじゃない輝き見据えて熱を持つ体抱えて走れば昨日までのよどんだ目にさよなら立ち向かう勇気などなくても
We're not working today. What the who do you think we are, bro? I'm not working today. Get out of here. Chan chan, chippy chippy chan chan, fun fun. Yeah. I don't know what else they're saying here. Fun chan, chippy chippy fun fun. Hello everyone, welcome in, welcome in. And the cat mixes a raccoon. I don't know what it is, bro. It's me. That's what it is. It's me. Oh my goodness. Oh, I love it so much. Oh my gosh, welcome in. Oh, you guys are so cute. Hello. Welcome It's me, Smelly. It's nice to see you guys. It's nice to see you guys. This is a little bit of a spoiler for some stuff coming later in the year, but it's not done yet, which is why I'm perfectly fine with just spoiling it. Because it doesn't matter, because it's like... and Gray, I saw it. Oh gosh, sorry, zooming in on myself. I saw you guys, or I saw you earlier. Thank you so much for the raid. Sorry, yeah, I was in the shower. I had mentioned on Discord, but I don't know. I don't know if everyone happened to see it, but on the Discord I mentioned I was gonna shower real quick and then I was gonna stream. The shower took a while, and I feel like I still need another shower, but we'll get there when we get there. My shower was broken for the longest time. It finally got fixed today, but it had like a bunch of sediments in it, so I'm like, I feel icky. I feel icky. Can I change the backgrounds? Oh, nah, I'll keep the background. I feel so out of place because I feel too big. I don't want... I feel so big right now. Bro. Aw. I hope you guys are doing well today. Oh, I really like that song. Is that a spoiler? What are you talking about? I never threatened you. What are you talking about? What? Welcome in though. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, we're gonna be live up until Maestro, literally in the title. I'll give him a shout out too. Wait, I think I have, does this command work?
Yes.
It does. Maestro is debuting today! Maestro is debuting today! Yay! And we're gonna be over on his stream as well once we raid into him. But for right now, I'm just here to say hi and, you know, and try this this amazing drink. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up. Also, part 2. That was Maestro audio. Part 2 was posted over on the Twitter. If you guys haven't seen it and you would like to vote inside, if you would like to vote for what happens, it's a choose your own adventure story. So feel free to vote. It's in the comments. Here you go. Part 2. I can't spell. I'm sorry. Part 2 is up. Please vote. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Oh my god. Look at the steppies. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. You're worried no, you're not late. We still have another hour. We actually have another hour before his debut starts, which means we'll be here for an hour. I don't know what we're gonna do. I didn't get that far ahead. I didn't really think. We just hang out. Honestly, you guys know me well enough. You know that I could sit here and talk for an hour. You guys already know. But if you want to know a little bit about Maestro, he's a musician, robot, composer. He makes music. He listens to music. He likes music. He plays video games. He makes video games. He likes video games. And now he's having a debut. I'm so excited. I don't use Twitter. That's okay. As long as you can see the art, Pickle. I'm glad at least. And if you want to read it, thank you for the sounds of Maestro. Please click the heart button at the top of chat, please. Then we'll all go over there when his debut starts. And we will say hi, and I will actually be on, like I said, I will be on his stream, because he's going to be doing a big VR chat hangout stream. So if anyone here has VR chat, we can all hang out. There's a lot of really fun games and worlds, and then he wants to also do some karaoke, if you guys are down for some singing or listening. I completely understand if you don't want to karaoke. But we'll all be over there. I'm so heckin' excited. By the way, if you guys are wondering, today's drink is called Tiger's Blood. I decided to go down my, I decided this is the best way to get rid of my hemophobia, is by drinking blood. Yep. I don't actually know what Tiger's Blood is supposed to mean. It just says Tiger's Blood. I don't know what it's supposed to mean. We're about to find out, though. You guys already know. I'm here to give you guys exactly my honest-to-God first reaction, to these drinks. So before I tell you, if you guys didn't know, on Monday, I'm gonna be announcing a thing. I know a lot of you already know. I know a lot of you already know what it is too. I'm announcing a partnership, And every single day this week, I've been drinking a different drink and telling you guys what I think about it on stream. On stream. So today is Tiger's Blood. I don't know what it's gonna taste like. We're gonna find out though. I'm assuming not Tiger's Blood. Watermelon, coconut, strawberry, or cherry. All right. Why do they call it Okay. sounds about right. Explains the transformation. That's right. That's right. We're explaining. Look at my jiggle. By the way, I am an extreme amateur when it comes to VTube Studio, so if anything, like if the tracking looks off or anything's wrong, it's because I didn't set anything up. I just work here. Look at this. Oh Lord, he coming. The target looks amazing. I think it's because the person who made the model and rigged the model. I should probably, hold on. I feel so unright not crediting them. Give me one sec. The person who made and rigged the model, two different people. They did an amazing job. That's why. You look like Lemon. No, you. Sayu. Oh, let me get the credits for this. If you guys did not know, this is a pre-made model. It is not a commissioned model. It's a pre-made model. You guys can get one too and customize it all you want. Well, I'll give you the credits in a second. Oh, Rim, no you. It's you. Oh, I found it. It's the Bean Boy. Here you go. Oh, my alarm's going off. Hold on.
Hey.
Oh, hi, Haas.
My name is Asa.
Look, now we're both live duty.
You should be following Spelly. Like, what are you waiting for?
I eat Oz hair. Aw, but this is who made the model. This is who made the model. I posted it in the chat. The artist is oh my gosh. Naichi? I hope I said that right. Yes, it is the same artist that made Rose Bells. I know a lot of you know Rose Bell. So it is the same person that made Rose Bells, but I'm using the pre-made model. Then Alexion rigged the model, so they both did a fantastic job. I'm gonna change the background because I can. Let's see, where do we want to be today? What do I have is a better question because it's live 2D. It's not in my 3D world anymore. I'm so used to 3D. Let me see. Where? Oh, here it is. I have too many folders. That's. I'll never get over this. Here it is. Oh, I am like 6. I am 6 folders deep right now. That's how much I hide, or not hide, but that's how much I put my folders like way too far back. Here, we'll go here. Cause I feel like this is perfect for the fact that Maestro is gonna be debuting. Yeah. And it's like kind of karaoke-ish. I don't have very much. Don't expect much of me. Hi, Curl. Welcome in. How tall is the avatar? How tall? I don't even know. I don't know how to answer that. You mean in my head canonly, or do you literally mean how tall? Because I don't know how to look for that. Oh. You guys want to see something else? Hey, my face is here. My face is here. You know what else is here? You. You're so cute. I don't think I hit the right button. You're so cute. Wait, look at this one. Look at this one. Sniffer. Oh my gosh, I love this model so much. I'm sorry. I'll be doing a lot with this model, but not anytime soon. I'm just spoiling you guys for today. For those of you who were super nice enough to come here for the waiting room for Maestro, you guys can see a little spoiler, sneaky peeky coming soon. All right, I was gonna try the Tiger's Blood. I'm not. Yeah, no worries, Pickle. Okay, ready? Here's what Tiger Blood tastes like to me. Also, there's a Pokemon. Crap. All right, this one's a lot more tangy. This one's a lot more oh, drink again. Oh, right. I would recommend you guys don't use my... Well, I mean, you could use the drink, because that's just for drinking. But if you guys use any throwables, I recommend you don't, because nothing's going to work. Same with show and tell. I recommend you don't, because I'm not going to show and tell today. I should probably just... I'll just turn them off. I'm just being lazy. Did you guys see the new power-ups thing? Why did they do that? I don't think it's a horrendous idea. I just think the application of it's kind of bad. It's like at the top of channel point redeems, and I don't want anyone to get confused with them being my redeems, and then they pay real money. And I don't want... Oh, wait, can I turn it off? No, it only lets me edit them. It only lets me edit them. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll edit them to... I can't turn them off. It says the minimum price I can set them to is 10, so I'll set them all to 10 for you guys, but I literally cannot turn them off. It's so stinky. Oh, right, I forgot I was using my, hold on, wait. Yeah, I didn't set up my hands, look. Oh, wait, no, not that one. This one? This one? I didn't set up my hands, I didn't recolor the hands. I'm so lazy, bro. I'll get there eventually. Wait, how do I go back? Oh no. There's so many buttons, there we go. All right, I'm learning. I'm learning about how to use like V2 Studio slowly but surely. Yeah. Right, Tiger's Blood. Tiger's Blood definitely tastes like something. If you're the other couple flavors we've done on stream so far have been really sweet, very fruity. This one's still fruity, but it's a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a lot more less sweet, more of a tangy taste, tart. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. So instead of it being overly sweet, it's like the tart version of fruit, which I'm not saying is bad. It's probably not necessarily my favorite. Yesterday's the hibiscus one we had, strawberry hibiscus, I still think that's my new favorite. And then right underneath that is the blood orange, but now we're trying Tiger's Blood, and it's definitely not as sweet. Still does not taste like hella sugar, though. That's good. I don't like it when my drinks taste like sugar. I do like sugar. I don't want to be reminded that I'm drinking or eating too much sugar. But these have no sugar in them. I could double check for you guys. Let me see. It says sugars 0 grams, 0%, added sugar 0 grams, 0%. So these have no sugars in them. Keep that in mind. No sugars. That's really good. I'm gonna drink some more. Huh. Delicious. Oh, blood orange is so good. It's so good. No. I'm not vampire. No. But yeah, I wish I could move those power-ups. It's a bit scrap, it really is. I wish I could remove them. I just wish they didn't put it at the top of my... Look, I'm already struggling, personally. I'm already struggling with the fact that I feel like I have too many rewards, too many channel point redeems. I don't want this many channel point redeems. But there's so many throwables. I'm turning off all the things so people don't accidentally use them. I'm kind of lazy to turn them off and then turn them back on, but I don't want people to waste points either. Because I don't have the option to refund with some of these. They're on auto. So I'll just turn them off for you guys. That should be good. Okay, I turned them off. But yeah, I'm so excited! We've been waiting. So if you guys, I know a lot of you are waiting for Maestro's, like, really, really big debut. He had to clarify in the Discord that today is not the Extremo debut that everyone's been waiting for. This is like a very, really realistic test for how to debut. It's his, it's still very important though. Maestro has been a PNG tuber for a long, long time. Today is his 3D debut, so he will officially be, or have a 3D model. And it's so exciting! It's so exciting! But yeah, basically it's again, it's not his huge debut that a lot of people are waiting for, but it is a very good way to test out a lot of things when it comes to debuting. All the promotion that goes behind it, the advertising, setting everything up. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for you guys to see all the crap that he's been working on. Let alone his if you didn't know, his debut got pushed back a little bit because his PC broke. It broke. So, well, I guess broke's not the right word. He upgraded it and then it just didn't work. But I might as well just be broken. So everything got wiped. Everything from the PC, his drives got reformatted. So he had to redo everything. Everything got deleted. He had to re-download things. He had to reset up everything. Oh, I'm talking like straight from zero, bro. From zero. I can't even imagine. Been there, yeah. You guys know, I'm sure all of you, if not a lot of you, have lost something to darn technology, whether it's hard drives breaking or like losing a bunch of crap, getting deleted, viruses, crap like that. It sucks. It sucks a lot. It sucks a lot. So he is a big trooper, though. He's a trooper, and what time is it? About 1 hour left. You're so nice. Sorry, I'm typing a message really quick. Okay. I have, oh, Merv, it's so big!
Hey guys, I'm Macaroni. I stream art and spooky games, and I'm here to tell you about how amazing Spelly is and how you should sub to her.
I'm huge!
Do it.
Look at me compared to you. Oh, how you doing today, Merv? How is the stream? Wee! Sorry, I was sending like a message out, so I was being beans, looking away. What do you think, Merv? What do you think of the new? I didn't see that one. Was that one supposed to do something? What do you think of the new power-ups? I was mentioning earlier, I just wish they weren't in the bit section because I'm so afraid of someone going in there and being like, oh, new channel point redeems, and then they redeem it and it costs bits. I'm like, no! Like, if you meant to do it, I guess, but why did they put it in the bit section? You know what? But having them put that in the bit section proves that Twitch can absolutely add categories and like stuff to the channel points, and I really, really want categories. So I can have a category for throwables, I can have a categories for like all the outfit redeems, so that it's like all categorized and pretty and nice and organized, and I really like organization, bro. Please let me organize things. Hi, Ryu. Hi, Claire. Not quite what I expected. You a bunny? I don't know what I am. Don't worry. This is a bit of a spoiler for coming soon. Yo, the fish! No, Fasani! Don't eat Fasani! Don't eat Fasani! Please don't eat Fasani. Ooh. Ignore the... Wait, we have a timer going? Get out of here. I don't want my timer going. What do you think? We're working today? No, today's party. Today's party day. There are big streamers that have increased it really high because they don't want it covering their stream with emotes. That's fair. That's fair. I made it really low because, again, it costs bits, and I look, I'm not against it. I'm not against it. I don't, why, they put it in the one section that had, like, basically free, or, I can't really say free, but basically free redeem stuff if you just have, like, channel points here for watching streams. They used to have, anyway, a literal section for bits, for cheering and stuff. They could have put it in the cheer section, and they didn't. They put it in the channel pointer section. I wonder if they're trying to test out a new thing with channel point redeems, but not channel point, but like bit redeems. I don't know. I'm gonna take another drink of this tiger's blood. Again, it's a good flavor for those that don't like super fruity stuff. I like fruity, that's me. But if you don't like fruity, maybe you could find a really kick out of tiger's blood. Okay. You seen another? Yeah, Ryu. It's a pre-made asset. It's a pre-made asset, Ryu. Pre-made VTuber, I mean. I had linked it earlier. Let me know if you want it again. I want to do a lot of editing. Merp, I'm gonna have to ask you how you edit it. I know nothing about Live 2D. I've been a 3D model for so long. I know nothing. I don't know how to edit anything. I mean, I know how to change colors. I learned how to do that with like a video file that they give you when you buy the model. But I have no idea how to like actually edit it to like, I want to add a witch hat. Well, if I do, I guess it wouldn't be rigged though, so I couldn't do that. But I want to like change up a couple things. Like the Ohoge. I love it. It's so cute, but it's not Spelly's Ohoge. I want Spelly's Ohoge. I don't know if I'd be able to do that either because it'd have to be rigged. I don't know anything. I know nothing. Working, that's illegal. I was working a lot earlier today, but then I put it all down. And the reason we're so late is because I took a shower for once in my life. You can also set a timer for the celebration one. Wait, you could also set a timer on the celebration one. I made it so there's a limit, 1 per stream. How do you... Hold on, let me go to manage rewards. What's what? I don't even know what the on-screen celebration is. Oh, you can. Limit cooldown. 1 per stream. Yeah. I don't know what are message effects. I know you did one earlier, but I don't know what it does, Smurp. I have no idea. Could change the ear to a witch hat and keep the ring. I don't know how it works. I mean, I could, like a mini witch hat. If it works like that, I could. I just don't know. Since you have Live 2D, you can attach things to your model now? Oh, okay, let me check. Wait, where's my Discord? Oh, here it is. Wait, can I attach that to my model? How do I do that? Also, I read the other thing. I'm not gonna say it, but I read the other thing. Let's go! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, is stream chugging? Oh, I have a storm coming through right now. That might be why. Oh, if it's not, oh, it might not be me then. Hi, Nexus. Hi, blah, 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 blah. Perky as well. How you guys doing? What's this fluffy? It's me. I'm fluffy today. Hey, Professor Nintendo, welcome in. Sorry, I'm trying to figure things out, so I was like reading through. Drag and drop. You won't see it if you are looking at it through the... Oh, that's why I didn't see it. What did it do, though? What did it do? Does this work, then? Oh, drag... Okay, I'm trying to drag and drop from the internet. Let me save it and drag and drop like that. Oh, it works! Oh, it's beautiful!
Hey guys, I'm Macaroni. I stream art and spooky games. And
Oh my goodness! I want to drag and drop things on my head on me now. Do I have? I don't think I have a PNG of my hat. I do not think I have a PNG of my hat. Oh, that makes it so much easier. I didn't realize. I thought that makes it so easy to like do stuff. I do not have a PNG of my hat, do I? I gotta draw my hat sometime. Just my hat, not me. Oh my goodness! Look at me! Wee! Oh, a rim. Let me see. I have Teru. Do gifts work? They do! Oh, what? Oh! Wait, I didn't touch it. What? Stop! Teru! Hold on, wait. It's Savannah the Hour? Maestro, you're not supposed to be here! Maestro, that's like, it's like when you get married and you see the bride before you get married, and you can't, that's bad luck, you can't be here. Thank you for the drink, though. Give me a placeholder? Oh, I love this song. No, we're lucky, 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 lucky. Oh! Oh, that's what it looks like. Thank you, Merp. Thank you. I think those are fine. Those and the giant... Well, depends. If someone, like, was to just spam the giant ones, then it might get annoying, but... Maybe I could put, like, a little cooldown on it. Let me see. I like the giant ones, but... Oh, it doesn't let you... Okay. It literally doesn't let you put a cooldown on them. Alright. It lets you put a cooldown on the on-screen celebration thing. That's so weird. Oh, well. Yeah. Good luck. Alright, let me see. Yeah, I wish I had... These are so cute. Thank you. What is it? What is this one? Oh, right. I tried to drag it from the browser again. Yay! Wait, how do I... Wait, hold on. How do I make it so that the... I'm trying to grab it. No, not that. Dang it. Hold on. Put my face back over here. the sticky note. No, not me! Hold on, wait. This. Okay. I'm slowly learning. Give me a minute here, you guys. There we go. Now how do I put this on top? Oh, what? Huh? Left mouse, and mouse wheel to spin. Wait, left? Oh, left control. What? I keep clicking things, bro. Okay, hold on. I got this, I swear. Left control. Oh! I'm learning. Wait. There we go. I don't know, you're lucky. Okay, I'm gonna make it a little bigger. Just a little. Lucky. Oh, how do you delete the, I'm assuming this is how it works, please. No? Oh! Okay, I guess it's back on my tail. I didn't, wait, what? No. Oh! I'm crying, bro! This is so hard! Get out! Get out of here. What's in the corner? If you want to change the layer, you have to add the system. You have to, oh! And then, oh man. I'll do that another day. Yeah, don't worry, I won't crash my stream. No! I will do that at another day. Except apparently I can only grab myself now and I can't grab the items. What? Hello? Hello? I'm not even clicking over here. Oh my gosh. Perfect, I did it. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Unless it's easy to do. I don't even know where to find. You could lock your model to make it. Oh, yes. Here, wait. I can lock my model. I know how to do that. That's like the one of very few things I know how to do. Oh, is it because I locked? Oh, it's because I locked all the items. Genius. That's why. Yes. 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 We're getting back to it. How do you delete an item so I can bring it back? oh, I found it. The trash can. I'm doing it. I don't know what it is, but I'm doing it. Thank you, Verb. Aww. Hold on. The item sticks are anchors to your cursor. It was me you let go. Whee! I'm anchoring it onto my face. Soon, dare it. I actually don't like tsunderes. I'm sorry if you do. I don't. Have a good cooking session! They were perfect. Yes, we did it. We have done it. We've done the thing. All right. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I can't wait to play around with this. I don't know. There's so much I have to learn. I still haven't even learned everything with Warudo yet either. There's too much. You got me. I got myself just a bit of love. Wanna spend, not you, but baby. You. I'm trying to see. Is it bad that I'm looking through my stuff to see what else I have to track on myself? Oh wait, I didn't even show you guys all the cool things. Oh. How do I'm in full screen mode. And I went transparent background. I guess I have to change my background again. Alright, get ready. Don't get scared. Don't get scared. Oh wait, I think it's because I have to go to settings. Oh, that's how you do it. I didn't even have to turn on the background. This is so chaos. Let me turn off the background. There we go. I had to really quick Google how to turn off backgrounds to figure out how to do it. Like I like you, okay? There we go. Bunny? Okay. We did it. Chaos. Did someone say? Oh wait. Can I show you guys something? Feed the bunny. Can I say? I'm gonna do a jump scare really quick. Don't get scared though. Don't get scared. All right. Don't get scared. Chaos control! Oh, it's so good. Bro, I've been playing with these things a little too much today. Or not today, a little too much in general. These are the things that I do behind this, like when I'm not on stream and stuff. Oh my gosh. Hold on, I'm gonna drink some. I keep laughing so hard, I like die. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'll switch back. I just wanted to jump scare you guys real quick. I have to warn you, when I switch back, I don't know why, but when I switch back, maybe it's my fault. It loses all the things that I added to it, you see? Not the stuff, the other stuff, but it loses the ears and stuff, so I have to add it back on. Which is easy, but I don't know why it does that. I'm pretty sure it's something I did on accident. Whee! Sexy Shadow Run! Wait, Bone Marrow, you too? I did not even see. I did not even see. I'm going to assume it's just his eyes. Thank you, Rim. Thank you. I'm so glad you clipped that, because otherwise I would forget. I'm so glad. Oh man, it's so good. It's so good. Can I have some juicy kale? Can I please have some juicy kale? Juicy kale. Oh. Juicy kale. I actually don't know what bunnies eat, but I'm going to assume because that's what Freud said. Oh. Juicy kale. It had dark purple. I did not even see. I see you were looking. I see you were looking. Oh man. I can't believe you were looking at Shadow like that. Come on. Come on. It's Shadow the Hedgehog. How could you? He's Shadow. Oh, don't, no, there's a reason I have Shadow, don't worry. I agree with you, Phone Bro. Eat the flesh of the unworthy. Wait, what? No, I would never eat flesh of the unworthy. What? Maybe the mildly worthy. If I if I eat all of the unworthy, then what does that make me? What does that make me? No, that's smacking me in the face, bro. Ow. Help me. Oh, man. I also noticed, oh, you did. Wait, hold up, that's too much. Phone barrel. Mildly unworthy, so ominous. What are you talking about? Oh, mildly worthy. Yeah. Sorry, I'm so vibing right now. Wee. This is too much fun. I'm having someone take this away from me. I'm having too much fun. Oh my goodness. What time is it? I gotta also watch the time because I know me. You guys know me. I will absolutely lose track of time. Let me open Maestro's channel so I don't lose track of time. All right. Huh, first. Hi, Sketchy. I did. Oh, wait. I have Bean Boy, though. Long Boy? Long Boy has the toggle to make it long. That's what Rosebell has. I don't have a Long Boy. I wish. I think Long Boy is cute. But I have Bean Boy. Does a lot of squishies. Wait, let me put on the witch hat. Oh, wait. How do I do this again? Lock the model. Unlock the items. I'm sorry. I'm gonna switch to witch hat. Come back. Let me see if I can. Let's see if we can even get it on. Oh no. Here it is. It's so cute. I don't have my own witch hat because I never actually made a witch hat, like just my hat. I only ever draw Spelly. You know what I mean? All right, let's see. And then you could drag it on. Longer man. Want to swap to? Oh yes, yeah. Switch to just chatting. Sorry. I completely forgot to change my. You know, to be fair, I was thinking about doing a little bit of art, but now we have less than 30 minutes, so I'm like, knowing me, you guys already know. I talk so much. Where did I save that to? Here it is. Wait, where's my model? Here it is. No, wait! No! Everything got switched. Okay. Oh, it's so tiny. Wait. Hold on, wait. I have to have perfect concentration for this. Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah, I didn't feel like doing it any longer. I was like, ugh. I don't know how people are able to clip things to them so well. I'm sitting here like struggling. I think it's because you actually upload it, not just drag it on, but oh crap, there's a Pokemon? Is this your model? Yeah! Well, this is my model for today. I will, okay, for anyone who's coming in, this is a big heckin' thank you for being here, especially since we're going to be saying hi to Maestro for his debut. And as a thank you, I'm showing you guys a little sneaky peeky of something coming in the future. It's not coming yet. I have a lot of editing to do on this model once I figure out how to. But, it's a little sneaky peeky of what's to come, eventually. Eventually to come. It will. It's just, I gotta, you know, do a lot of finacking. A lot of finacking. No, thank you for being, wait, I'm still here. What are you talking about? I'm still streaming. Tappy taps. Happy taps. Ah. Ah. Smash that control button. I can only hit it so hard. Oh, I hit the wrong button. There's another one too. I want to edit this one so that the hands are the black color. So maybe I'll do that real quick. Can I remember how I did that to begin with? Okay, it was a bit of a process. I'm still learning. I'm still learning all this. You hit the model button? Wait, was it the model button? Wait, was it this? No. The model button? Wait, you can see my, oh, you can see my mouse. It follows my mouse. That's so cool. When I draw, that's so, oh my god. It is so cool. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I'm like, it's so cool. Customized model, that's what it was. Let me see if we can find the hands. Uh-oh. Did I break it? Oh. Alright, how do I do this? So the hands are supposed to be black. Because it's supposed to be, it's not really half and half, but as close to half and half as I could get. So something like this. Yeah. Did I do it? I can change the pencil color too. Look at me being alive 2D. Oh my goodness. You got this, Cruel. You got this. Oh, Camino. You're so kind. Hi, Olo. Let's see. What can I edit on the pencil? What color do we want the pencil to be? Oh, wait. That's not the pencil. Oh, how do I turn that off? Wait, no. I'm gonna make it purple anyway. Here we go. There we go. No, I want this one. Yeah. Black and purple, though, is actually really freaking pretty. What is this one? I don't know what's changing on that one. Look at us! Look! And you can also change I think you could change the paper. I don't actually know. Hi, Doc of Pepper. I have like the hiccups all of a sudden. Oh, good, Crow. I'm glad. Oh, wait, the head Luna? Do you really like a Hell of a Boss, Bone Marrow? Hold on, my hair is like, for the record, because I'm streaming, my hair is gonna be like extremely, it's gonna dry very bad. I literally just hopped out of the shower, hopped on stream immediately. My hair is gonna look awful. I'm excited for it. Don't worry. Don't worry, I'll be able to fix my hair soon enough. So I should be able to toggle now. Wait, which one is it? This one? Oh, no, wait. Get rid of that. Yeah. Look at me. I can draw. I draw. I am an artist. Yeah. Yo, I could turn it in. Well, I don't know how much editing I could do on the model personally, just because I don't know how to. But if I can figure it out, I could like turn it into like a cauldron thingy and have like a cauldron in front of me and do some mixing in my cauldron. I don't know how to do it. I don't know if it's possible, but I haven't seen it yet, Bone Marrow. No, I know. I know you like the show. I just didn't know that you liked it that much to have dreams about it. No, but I haven't seen the last episode yet. I'm so excited. Draws aggressively. Bro, I love the face so much. Oh, I can't breathe. Hold on. I'm actually having trouble breathing. This isn't a joke. Beardy! Beardy, welcome in! Hello! Oh, I forgot that was gonna play. Beardy Raiders, hello, my name is Spelly! Have you had Mr. Switch on Twitch? And I do art and imitations! Wow! Thank you so much for the raid! Beardy Cutie! Welcome in! Hello! How was your stream? And I'm sorry, Bone Marrow, my memory sucks! I'm sorry, Bone Marrow! Dead by Daylight! How was Dead by Daylight? How far did you get? Also, to Sick Ripper and Bone Marrow, I still have your sketches ready to draw. I haven't done them yet, so I apologize for that, not having drawn them yet, but I still have them on my brain, so don't worry, they're coming. I have not forgotten at all. Beardy, how was your stream? And hi, Jack. Hello, were you rolling for initiative? Well, guess what, Beardy? Beardy, you rolled a, you know what? No, I'm gonna do this professionally. Beardy, you rolled a 2, and Jack, you rolled a 6. Beardy, I'm afraid, you cannot leave now. You're not allowed to leave. Sorry, I just know, I'll tell you in a second. You're not allowed to leave, and Jack, you are mildly allowed to leave, but also barely. Sorry. The rules are rules. Oh no, Cruel! Follow him right now. Right meow. We gave him a shout out and everything. Do it right meow, Cruel. Sorry. I swear, it's truthful. Look what I have discovered. Oh my gosh, artists unite, bro. I have discovered that on this model, if you use your mouse, like you use like your tablet, or you draw with a mouse or whatever you do, whenever you draw, it also draws. So I'm putting on my art glove right now. Oh, my, hold on. I was drawing in my pen the entire day, or hold on, wait. Oh, I kicked my I was drawing in my bed. All day today, so my pen was over by my bed. Sorry. ATV stuff, thank you, Rim. Feel free. You know what we could do? I have a timer for a reason. I might as well use it. Beardy Cutie, thank you again so heckin' much. You're not allowed to leave though, so no self-care for you. I'm kidding. If you do have to do anything, I completely understand. All right, hold on. I'm gonna give it 15 minutes. I'm gonna put 15 minutes on the timer, and when the timer ends, then we know we have like 2 minutes and we have to start getting ready to wrap up. There we go. Now I figured out a reason for our timer today. Oh yeah, look. Let me just start a random new document. I'm not actually drawing anything, but look, whenever I pretend to draw something, the paper lifts up, and it's like, look at that! That is so cool! Oh my goodness, I am absolutely gonna use this model at some point to draw with, just for the fun of it. Look at that. I could say, I can draw a heart. Heck yeah. Ah! It's so cool. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I know, it's so cute. I love it. I love it. Oh. I have also discovered that hitting F1 in Clip Studio pops up the help menu. Oh, please close the help menu. I don't want that. Oh! Wait, we have received something new. I want to try it on. After multiple Luna dreams, I'm starting to worry if I need. Honestly, there is no such thing as too many furry OCs. Thank you. Thank you. You've been learning with Krita. Is there anything, Beardy? I know you were doing D&D. No, DBD today. But if you want to share any art, I would love to see some Beardy art. Get out of here, trash. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Oh, I almost dragged another one. Wee wee. Wait, can I put it on the other side so it's not through the pen? Wee wee. It looks kind of weird on the other side, but... Oh gosh, I'm having such a hard time. Wee wee. I don't know why I said wee wee. Oh, this is so cute. Hold on, let me get rid of the pen. There we go. Oh my goodness. Look at me. No arts yet? Okay. Studying is hella important as well. I'm trying to get my head so it stays still. There we go. Good enough. Oh wait, I can lock the items then? Wait, what do you mean all items unlocked? Lock. There we go. Perfect. You guys. No. Your friend's teaching you the ways? I am so happy. I can't wait to see the first piece of Beardy art. I cannot wait. Yeah, and there's a lot of people that use Krita here as well. Pickle, as Pickle said, Pickle uses Krita. Rim and Manbear also use Krita. Very amazing people. The goat. How am I feeling? Although, a lot better than yesterday. Holy moly. I apologize if you guys were here on stream yesterday. Towards the end of stream, you kind of heard my energy getting zapped. I think some of you might know why, but either way, I was not feeling super duper good at the end of stream yesterday, so I felt a lot better after stream, and then now I'm feeling a lot better. I'm also super excited for Maestro's debut, so to be fair, I'm a little biased, but I am feeling a lot better. Yeah. Yeah, no worries. Go, Rim, go. You got 11 minutes. Well, you got a little more than 11 minutes, but pretend you have 11 minutes so you're not late for sure. Heck yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. I have 2 of me. Wait, can I be a Pokemon? It's me. I'm the Pokemon. I'm learning how to do so many things right now. If you guys did not know, I've never had live 2D anything. I've always been 3D. Now if I ever mess up my model, you can see my model will stay there forever. There we go. Oh my goodness. You use Krita once a year. I know how to do it. Bare bone barrel. Yeah, Rim does. Control T? What is does Control T transform? That's what it does in Clip Studio. I don't know if that's what it does in Krita. I'm gonna take another drink of tiger's blood. Oh yeah, the transform tool. That's right, I will be biased. That's right, guys. Heck yeah. Ow. Alright. Sorry, I'm so distracted right now. I'm also making sure I have my DMs open just in case any... Oh, speaking of DMs, hold on, wait. Sorry, there's a couple DM things. I just want to make sure that everything goes smoothly for the debut. So don't mind me a little bit on the side here. The last thing you drew was a pose ref doodle for an artist site. Oh, you know, that's a really... I've had one or two other clients ever give me pose references. I think that is such a wonderful thing. I'm not saying for anyone here who commissions art, you don't have to draw a pose. But if there is a very specific pose you want, and you can, even if you were to like do your best to like put some kind of pose, it helps. Like honestly, having someone doodle a pose helps a lot. So on behalf of artists who enjoy that, Bone Marrow, I thank you. I guess not all artists might like that, but I know I do. You're so consistent? What? It's getting close. 10 minutes remaining. Yeah, at the top right of stream, we have a timer. It's not perfect. Oh, crap. No, we have ads. I did not want ads to play. Crap. I apologize. You guys are about to get ads. Hold on. I'm so sorry. I tried. I think you can all hear me. I tried to stop it. I'm so sorry. No. Ads. Tell you what, if you guys can hear me, if you do have ads, I really heckin' appreciate you guys for sitting through them. I really, really do. Did you know that in ad revenue, because we get paid out every month, and even in ad revenue, I still make enough monies for a couple meals. So you guys are helping pay for a couple meals, and I heckin' appreciate that, so thank you. But I apologize, I meant to pause the ad, so I apologize for that, but I really do heckin' appreciate you guys, thank you. You can probably get away with even stick figures. The stick figures. I really wanna learn how to rig one day. I'm gonna say it out loud. I'm gonna say it out loud and probably do nothing about it because I have so much else going on. But if I ever had the chance to like work alongside someone, I would love to rig one day. Just to try it for my own stuff. I'm gonna be selfish, not to do for commission, but just to learn it so I can do my own stuff rigged in Live 2D. Maybe one day. Ooh. Google sucks for reference images. Honestly, Bone Marrow, I don't know what happened. Also, I don't think Bone Marrow can hear me. Maybe. But I'm having such a hard time Googling things because it's always freaking AI images. And I can do the minus AI. I still get sometimes AI come through. And lately, it's been AI answers for Google, which I guess helps a little if it's correct, but half the time it's not even correct. I googled, like the other day, I googled newest Pokemon mystery dungeon, and it gave me a game that's not even Pokemon, and it was like, this game came out this year, like earlier this year, and I'm like, this isn't even Pokemon, this is not, what the heck, Google? Goo. Sorry, I was drinking. Said while everyone's stuck watching ads. Exactly. I can't just sit here and talk about nothing. No, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna vibe out to the music. I wish I could do like a toggle that just, like, Fasadi screensaver mode. That's so cute. I'll spend this time learning, VTube Studio. Oh, my room is getting super dark right now, so it's starting to lose tracking. I'm crying. And I have no lights. I have no lights to turn on because it is like, I guess I could turn on my top light. Here, let me go turn it on real quick. Oh, that was not it. There. I used to have, like a ring light. I used to have a ring light that I would put behind my monitor so that it captures my face and everything. But there's two things that really sucked about that. The first is that it was direct light onto my face, and if you don't know, you're not supposed to have direct light onto your face because of the infrared sensors detecting your face, yada yada. You're supposed to have bounce light coming onto your face. So you point the light at like a white wall or a white sheet or something that's bright, and it bounces back, and then that's the light that's supposed to pick up and be really good for like green screening or like VTubing and stuff. But I don't have that option right now. So I used to have a light that was behind my monitor pointed directly at my face, and it worked pretty well, but then I ran out of space on my table. So I had to move it. So I no longer have a light on my desk. My light is behind me, but it's like on the other side of the room behind me. And then I have another lamp light that is like on the other side of the room. So I have no lights whenever I'm sitting at my desk, especially at like night. I can barely see anything because I have no light on my desk. I mean, I have the tablet light, so that kind of counts.
Hi, hello. Welcome back.
Look how bouncy I am. Oh. Oh, there we go. I was like, why is my tail going so fast? I'm learning. It takes a hot minute to learn, though. There's some other things, too. Like, I can change the ears, except I never recolored any of the ears, so all the ears are currently white. I can change the tail to other stuff. I can just have a floating note instead of having a tail. It's a lot of fun. I've been learning a lot about how to do live 2D stuff. Not a whole lot. In fact, actually, there was one thing I wanted to play with. If anyone here knows how to do effects. Let's see. I saw that somewhere. Was it in the camera? Visual effects. Oh man, that's a lot of reading I don't feel like doing. Oh no, stop. Too much reading. What does this do?
Oh, it's raining. It's snowing indoors.
Hold on. Let me find it. Wait. Stop. There's so many pop-ups popping. I should probably say don't pop up.
Hi, Makari. Look, we're the bean boy.
I'm learning. This is my first time using Live 2D. Am I yelling at you guys? This is my first time using Live 2D. Oh. I'm learning live on stream. This is so cool. Oh, wait, no. How do I... Oh, here it is. So cool. Dude, oh crap, right. So if you guys don't know already, I'm so distracted. Oh, I want to play more, but I know we gotta go. If you don't know, we are currently in a weight room. Anyone that we hang with, I like to weight room for them. If you don't know what a weight room is, it's basically where you wait for... you sit around doing God knows what. And you wait until they start their stream. So, Maestro, my love, Maestro is going to be debuting today in like a couple minutes. Our timer says like 20 seconds. That was so, I have like a, hey, you need to start wrapping up. I'm starting to wrap up.
Yeah, that's my stuff. You guys want to go check out Minecraft?
Look at all, there's so many. I'm sorry, you guys. There's so many effects. I've never played with any of these. I want to play. No. Okay, how much time do we legit have? We have 2 minutes. I set the timer to 2 minutes. But we do gotta start wrapping up. You're funny. I know. I'm gonna turn it off. I'm turning it off. I'm done. I'm not gonna be late. Now, what I do want to make sure is that Maestro's on time because I don't want to raid him if he hasn't started yet. So I will wait for him to start, and then we will start doing our ending shindig. I think he's gonna have like a bit of a, starting soon thing. Wait, let me see. Oh. Oh, it's a good thing I checked my DMs.
Hello, my name is
Rose!
Rosie.
Wait,
You're
we're set
not
so
Ellie.
close. It's coming soon. It's coming soon. Hold on, I'm checking my DMs because I want to make sure that the debut runs as smoothly as possible. So, I'm DMing, hold on, I'm DMing him real fast. Don't mind me.
Rose, my love.
Okay, sorry. Thank you. Oh my god. Shout out to my mods for being amazing. Thank you so much for taking care of things when I'm looking at other stuff. You guys mean the world to me. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it's the Live 2D play with Live 2D waiting room. I've never used Live 2D before. I've never used Live 2D before, so it's such a treat for people to help me learn what the heck to do. Hi, Pocket Cat. I was gonna say Pokey. Hi, Pocket Cat. Welcome in. 1 minute. He's DMing me real quick, so I'm just double checking that everything is okay. Hi, Fala. Ah!
My friends are here.
Let me think. Hold on, I have to Google a thing real quick. Hold on, sorry, I'm messaging Maestro again. I'm trying to make sure everything goes smoothly, so I'm just making sure because he has a question. So one sec. I know. His stream's gonna be starting soon, but oh wait, it did start. I will raid into him in just a moment. In fact, I'm going to start the countdown. Pocket Cat, we're gonna go raid into Maestro. He's debuting really heckin' soon. Really heckin' soon, as in like right now. He's debuting right now, so we're gonna go raid into him. If you guys haven't already, feel free to check out my socials. I'm gonna type out this message to Maestro. Sorry. I have to make sure that he is, everything is good on his side. Okay. Yeah, if we're gonna go say hi to Maestro. He's debuting. He just started. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I will be back in my 3D model, on Monday. We'll be streaming again on Monday. But until then, thank you guys for joining this heckin' short stream where I don't even know what we did today. I learned a little bit about Live 2D, and thank you again to Bert for helping me for all this stuff. I have no idea how to do it. Oh, I'm so excited to learn Live 2D, and I hope you guys enjoyed the sneaky peeky, the spoiler of things to come in the future. It's not coming anytime super soon. I'm sorry, I'm kind of lazy, but it will come as soon as I'm able to figure out how to edit models. Because we do have permission to edit these models. Once I figure out how to do that, we will, I'll do that, and then, we'll actually be doing something. But again, spoiler alert, but you guys get to see the little sneaky peeky. But until then, I'll see you guys again on Monday!